Isn't it interesting though that you say it's an accepted part of the culture, yet discussion is not generally open about it? I still feel there's a stigma behind it. Um,
Yeah.
like I feel sometimes I feel a bit risky, like talking about, hey, I take beta blockers from time to time. Well, what pushback am I going to get? Fortunately, these days I don't get too much, which is lovely. But isn't it interesting that it is accepted? Everyone sort of knows about it, particularly for auditions as well. I mean, um,
Yeah.
there was one question from Wes. He says, "Do you think someone needs beta blockers in order to win an audition, since so many others are on them?" I mean, everyone knows what's going on, but nobody's open enough. So, is that just the fear? Is that vulnerability? Is that cheating aspect as well, or is it something else?
Yeah, good question. Um, I'm going to say that that cheating aspect does come into it, but um, I think, mm, how do we answer that?
I mean, I sort of think as an audience member, if I'm sitting there watching a performance and someone is doing playing their socks off and sounding amazing,
Mm,
it wouldn't matter to me, and this is just me, it wouldn't matter to me if they'd taken beta blockers before they played or if they didn't, because I'm there to experience great music.
yeah,
And if they need to, then okay, that's their coping mechanism for the stress of the job. But I wouldn't think anything less of them.
yeah,
Um, but I
yeah.
wonder if
Same.
if that's is that a self-perception thing as well, those internal things that you were talking about. It's like internally you're like, oh, I don't want to share this because that shows that I can't perform without medication, and that shows that I'm weak or I'm cheating or something like that.
I think, again, just from what people have been telling us, that is an internal
Yeah.
thing that individuals internalize, that the perfectionism thing
Mm.
of I have to be perfect, I have to be perfect, uh, and that's where, that's why we don't talk about it, certainly in Australia. I don't know that it's this if it's the same in other countries. I'm getting the impression, and I could be wrong, but I'm getting the impression that some other countries do talk about it, like it's more open
Mhm.
than it is here. And it's definitely it's that individualized pressure because I mean, I have spoken to a couple of people in management roles, um, and I talked to them about this issue of the pressure. Like, what do people perceive that it's a risk to their job if they are found out, you know, that they're taking drugs, um, or pharmaceuticals, and they're like, yeah, we're not putting any pressure on people to do that. But then, to think about the that broader context of the increased performance, and
Mm.
that broader context of so much more going on and so much more pressure on musicians now that has to be taken into account. It's not like you can say, well, it's entirely up to the individual, because there
Mm.
are all these systemic things going on around us that um, that have an effect
Mm.
and that can change.
Mm.
That can be changed.